Yeah, sure,
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
I switch it off
Very good.
for a moment.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Дякую.
Thank you.
Another, please.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I am Dr. Anarita Bashalieva, along with co-host Dr. Victor Fett, Dr. Katerina Shrey, and our program producer, Professor Larry Shrey. We host a weekly discussion panel on Russia's war on Ukraine with guests from Ukraine, military experts, medical personnel, academics, artists, literary figures, and relief workers. Our panel is recorded and circulated nationally and internationally. We appreciate your comments and feedback. Special thanks to Marshall University Libraries and MUIT for making this weekly event possible. If you are joining us live on Teams, please feel free to use the chat to post any question for our guest. A quick greeting to our viewers in Ukraine from Dr. Katerina Shrey.
Вітаємо наших слухачів в Україні з глибоким покліном. Ми далі свідки вашого страшного терпіння і також вашої великої сили. Дякую вам за вашу участь в нашій тижневій програмі.
Thank you, Katerina. Today's guest will be introduced by Dr. Victor Fett.
Thank you, Nara. Today's guest does not need much introduction. It is a great friend of our program, Dr. Petro Strizhak, joining us from Kiev. Dr. Strizhak has been on this program several times, and he graciously agrees to join us today with his update. He's a chemistry professor in Ukrainian Academy of Sciences, head of the department at Institute of Physical Chemistry. We are very honored and humbled that we have the direct line to Kiev tonight. Thank you. And Dr. Strizhak, microphone is yours. Please talk about whatever you want to tell anyone who will be willing to watch.
Thank you very much, Victor, for nice introduction and for so nice words regarding me. So I don't was such a kind. It's always my honor to have a talk on this panel, and it's always my pleasure to give you some information about what's going on inside from Ukraine, from capital of Ukraine, from Kiev. And today I wish to start with good news. Our defense forces today liberated New York. It's not New York City in States, it's New York in Donetsk region, and it's a heavy battle around it. So hopefully today we liberated that piece of our land, and our military chief in charge, General Sivsky, announced that it looks like we stopped the offensive, the Russian offensive in Donetsk region. So that's just sort of good news from front line. And I am not a military man, I am civilian, and I wish to say that this war touches everybody in Ukraine. It brings horror to each person in Ukraine, and just last 2 weeks it was very sad days in our lives. So basically we are celebrating our Independence Day on August 24th. Of course, it wasn't a celebration due to the war. It's just some official events, nothing special. And I guess that during last 2 or 3 years, Russians did not launch missiles during Independence Day and day after that, I guess for only one reason, because several officials from other countries are usually coming to Kiev to support our country, our nation. This year, Prime Minister of India, Modi, came to Kiev, and the President of Poland also came to Kiev. So Russians decided not to launch missiles, but they organized a massive missiles attack 2 days after, starting night from August 25th, basically it was from Sunday to Monday. So that night I woke up at 3 or 4 a.m. Because of several huge explosions right not far from me. After that I realized that was just, I guess, 3-4 kilometers from the place where I am living. Maybe less, maybe couple kilometers, so just something around 2 miles. And the explosions were very sound and very hard. So basically, after that, it was I have seen something like that in 2022 in summertime, when it was sort of huge missile attack, and it was a battle not far from the place where I am living. And this time, as I have learned afterwards from official public information, that was the most massive missiles attack during the whole war. They launched, I guess, more than 120 or 130 missiles, and something approximately the same amount of drones. So it was a mixed attack, and the consequences were very bad for our infrastructure, because main targets were the power stations, our power grid, and hotels and other buildings of our infrastructure. So as a result, during last 2 weeks, we have a very hard situation with power supply. So I remember, I guess, a week ago, something like that, we were living without electricity for almost 18 hours during the day. But hopefully we are a smart nation. We have been prepared to that situation. After 2 years ago, Russians first launched this kind of massive missile attack on our power grid, and I called friends of mine, so everybody had some small devices, things like that. So people were, I wouldn't say that they were laughing, but they were prepared. So, and they were brave, saying, okay, Russians will not win in this way. So moreover, everybody is pretty sure that kind of missile attack shows that Russians have no idea how to win this war, how to get any kind of progress in this war, just destroying our infrastructure, our power grid, our hospitals, our schools, buildings, the most dangerous situation, of course, is in Kharkiv, which is under missiles attack, short-range missiles, and bombing each day. Basically, each day, couple of buildings are destroyed in Kharkiv. I have friends surround the whole Ukraine, from Kharkiv, Odessa, Dnipro, Lviv, and each time when I get information from public that something happened there, I phone friends of mine asking what's going on, how they survive, and everybody was saying that okay, it's war, so we have to manage it, but there is no way that we defeat. We should be strong, and we should defeat our country. So that's the main, how to say, main attitude of people in Ukraine, that nobody here is thinking about stuff, something like let's go negotiate, let's give piece of our land to Russians for the peace or stuff like that. No way. I have never heard anything like that from anybody here in Ukraine, from friends of mine or from people whom I am discussing all these kind of things. But however, sad things happen. That's the war. I miss days because during last 2 weeks, almost each day we have air alarm for from couple of hours till 14, 16 hours per day. And several days ago, unfortunately, Russians succeeded in their attack on Kiev. I don't know the reason why, because during the last 2 years, maybe not 2 years, at least year and a half, I don't remember that they targeted so precisely several important buildings in Kiev, and as a result, you remember this year I showed you the pictures of apartment that has been destroyed just in the beginning of the year, January 2nd, where my son was celebrating New Year in apartment of his friends. So the apartment was totally destroyed. And a couple of days ago, similar situation happened to a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine in Kiev. Hopefully, it was not so huge disaster, not such large damage inside the apartment, but anyway, windows were broken, some furniture broken, and that's again, that's our everyday life. So every day people are prepared that something happened, because everybody understands that explosion may happen nearby, may happen at your apartment, so you should know what to do and how to do. Another example, friend, last days, 2 days ago, Russians performed massive attack on Lviv. I phoned a friend of mine from Lviv, that's a large city to the west of Ukraine, and he told me that he was happy just gathering his kids, putting them into the bathroom, the most safe part of, he is living in private building, so the most safe part of building, he has no basement. So that's just a single place where they felt safe themselves and all his family. Hopefully, nothing bad happened, but missiles were flying right above his building and targeted some building nearby. And just last 2 weeks, I mean, you know, I'm just telling you what's going on around me, not in the whole country, not in every place. Another bad event, two friends of my son, they, for some reason, they were traveling to Kryvyi Rih, at the city on the right bank of Dnieper River to the south, and Russians launched missiles and targeted the hotel where they settled down for a while. So as a result, both of them were killed. No parts, even piece of body of one of them was found, and just piece of hand of another guy was found by rescue people who excavated and took care about damage that performed by that missiles attack. So from Kharkiv, I'm not calling each day, but couple times per week I'm calling friends of mine. But their situation is just I cannot I even cannot imagine it how they feel it, because it was sort of event in Kharkiv, and I told them, okay, maybe I will come, maybe I will participate. They told me, no way, you don't wish, because situation is very dangerous there, and I guess, but people are brave. For example, what is surprising, in the beginning of the war in Kharkiv, I'm not saying that all people, but almost all people decided to leave Kharkiv for very understandable reason. But right now nobody is thinking about it, because they just they don't just believe. They know for sure that there is no way that Russians will occupy Kharkiv. They can destroy buildings, they can kill people, but Kharkiv will stay. Kharkiv will be Ukrainian, and there is no other way people in Kharkiv see for their future. There is nobody thinking about anything else, just how to support our army, our defense forces, how to what everybody can perform, can be done to win this war. Of course, to win it's just as scientists, it's not simple to define it, and I guess nobody today in the world can define what it means to win. Of course, we have some targets, what it means, but in reality, it's very hard to realize what it means to win that this war. But definitely we cannot win it without Western support, without support from the United States. And here it was, remember, it was a long story when House was considering law to support Ukraine. It took a long time, and during that time we had honestly, we had a lot of problems on the front line, but after support House voted for the support, and support is coming and coming, I guess, each week, maybe. I guess President Biden announces it each 2 weeks, probably. I'm not sure, but very frequently. And definitely situation changed on the front line, and we have much more success with that kind of support. Of course, war is war, and there is not enough support for anybody during the war, even if all ammunition from all the world will come to Ukraine. Even in that case, it wouldn't be enough, because that's war. Of course, that's. But I mean that definitely supporting Ukraine by ammunition means everything for our military success, means everything for our life, means everything that Ukraine not just survive, but live and stand in this war. And we are looking very positive in our future, considering that definitely there is no other way we should defend our country, because I guess these days situation is very clear. I mean, if we consider aims for both sides, the aim for Ukraine is to defend our country, to defend our nation, to defend our lives. The aim for Russians is to eliminate everything in Ukraine, eliminate infrastructure, eliminate our cities, eliminate our people, eliminate our country. So these two aims, if people don't say it in such a clear way, but if you consider what's going on during this active phase, I mean, starting February, starting 2020, February 24, till now. So these two, definitely you will see that all actions are directed to these aims. We are defending, Russians are trying to eliminate everything, because, for example, when they occupy part of our land, they destroy all buildings, they kill almost everybody, part of people living, who decided to live, to stay in their place. Most of them were killed. So that's very simple. And if we look into history, and if we take into account that such enormous, exuberant, I would say, support from other countries to one country, I mean to Ukraine, human history does not know such example. Even during Second World War, the support from United States to former Soviet Union, to Great Britain and France was much more less comparing what's the support we are getting these days. Again, it's not enough, because Russian military machine is huge. They collected all their ammunition during 50, 60, 80 years. and it's a huge amount of ammunition. And there is no other way for us just to eliminate that kind of ammunition. But even in that situation, Russia cannot support the military machine without some other countries like Iran and North Korea, who are delivering weaponry to Russia to kill Ukrainian people, to kill my nation. So I would like to say that, taking into account this enormous support from United States, from Europe, from other countries, taking into account that Ukrainian nation is brave, I am pretty sure that there is no other way. Just we should defend our country in the way we are thinking to defend it, and we should kick off Russians from our land. So, and at the end of my short speech, I would like to say my deep appreciation to everybody in the United States, to everybody in Europe and other countries, because supporting us means that everybody is paying, is giving money to Ukraine to support us. And I would also like to express my appreciation to your panel, because I'm pretty sure that this panel supports Ukraine in special way, and it's just one drop of that support. And if we have million drops, it's good. If we have more drops, that means that we win in this war, and we defend our country. So thank you very much for your attention. As usual, I'm sorry if I was short and I did not tell you what you were expecting. If you have any questions, it would be my great pleasure to answer you and to make clear some points which are sort of interest for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Strizhak. It is wonderful and moving and tragic, and we appreciate your eloquence and bravery. And I already have a question from Dr. Leonard Deutsch. Please, Len.
You mentioned that Ukrainian forces liberated a town in Donetsk, and obviously that's a morale booster. But beyond that, what do you see as the strategic implications of that victory? In your view, what do you hope will happen as a consequence?
Well, okay, thank you. I guess that's just a small. Well, okay, it's not a small battle. It's any battle is huge battle, of course, because it takes people's lives. But if you consider it in strategic way for the whole front line, I guess that just local the success of our forces, which is important because it does not allow for the movement of Russian forces towards Toretsk, which is very important city that Russians are trying to occupy during. I mean, all the forces right now on that directions are targeted to occupy Toretsk, because that may open them a strategic perspective for the movement towards the Dnieper River. So from that point of view, that's very important. Any local success is very important, and I guess that's just a part of success to stop Russians on the movement towards Toretsk, because not Toretsk, Pokrovsk. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Towards Pokrovsk, and because during last 2 months, I guess, Russians were constantly moving towards Pokrovsk. So right now it looks like we stopped that kind of movement. But well, okay, again, what it means movement? You know, if you are sitting at your home and you're thinking, okay, well, Russians are moving forward, so you are thinking, oh, that's disaster, that's very bad. No, that's not so simple, because I counted, and I guess I also found it in some newspaper. During this year, Russians moved forward just something like little bit less than 50 kilometers. During the last 2 months, they moved, I guess, just something around the 20 kilometers. But okay, let's take 50 kilometers. That's just like how to say it, like an arrow in front line. So, but their losses, it's just exuberant. It's exuberant. They lost, I guess, 100,000 troops just to occupy this piece of land for 50 kilometers that we will liberate, I am pretty sure, during 1 week. If situation changes, like situation changed 2 years ago during Kharkiv operation, when we liberated all Kharkiv region, part of Lugansk region, and part of Donetsk region. So that's my opinion. That's just you know, war is, it's not, it's how to say it, it's not polite to say it, but it's like a game. So who is smarter, then he will win. Did I answer your question, or maybe?
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have more questions or comments, please, from our panel and viewers?
I have
Go
a
ahead.
question. We are very fortunate to have you here from Kiev. Your opinion is extremely valuable because there are many voices, different recommendations, and different actual assessment. Can you tell us what is the three possible scenario in the near future of if war will be more close to the end? A more actually optimistic scenario than very pessimistic scenario, and what it might be more realistic scenario, because you can see more than anyone actually around Ukraine. Thank you.
Thank you very much for thinking about me like expert in such complicated task that I guess nobody in the world can. Of course, there are several scenarios. You are right, and I will tell you my personal opinion. So the most optimistic scenario, it has been announced by our President Zelensky. It's very simple and clear that Russian troops will be gone from all our land. So that means the end of the war. Then it will be demilitarized zone in Russian part along all border of Ukraine. I don't know, 30 kilometers, 50 kilometers. That's another point. And Russia should pay for everything what they performed in Ukraine. So basically, Ukraine should be recovered using Russian money, using reparation or whatever how they will say. That's just part of optimistic scenario. The more optimistic scenario is Russia will be destroyed and will be separated into, I guess today I have learned it from somebody, for 27 separate countries, all nuclear weapons will be gone and they will live separately, just starting civilized life like the way it should be. But of course, my personal opinion is that the first and the second is just a dream, and I don't think that it's realizable. The worst scenario, and that could be basically the worst scenario, might be if Russians will get success this year on the front line, will break our front line, and will go to strategic space in Ukraine and occupy sufficiently large part of our land on the left bank of Dnieper River, something till, so basically part of large cities will be occupied, and it's hard to say. That's the worst scenario, but definitely that will not be the end of the war. Again, the aim of Russians is to eliminate Ukraine. So if Ukraine does not exist, then means that Russia wins. So, but I guess that scenario is also impossible. That may be just in dreams of some people in Kremlin, but I don't think that it's doable. Reality, I think, it's my opinion, I think that this war will last for very long time. It's hard to say what kind of form it will take. I mean, definitely it will not be like these massive missiles attacks, because thanks to countries supporting us, our air defense system becomes stronger and stronger. And I would say that during last attack, we intercepted, I guess, 80% of missiles and almost 100%, maybe less, but almost 100% of drones. So that shows that our air defense system is very strong, and I guess that today it's the most most strong air defense system in the world. But of course, it's not enough, because I mean, missiles potential of Russia is huge. They are producing something. Again, from official sources, they are producing more than 100 missiles per month, and all these missiles are launching to Ukraine, targeting our infrastructure. So, if we have success, that's of course, when, not if, when we get success, when we liberate our land and will come to the border with Russia, I don't think the war will stop. I think it will be a situation like Like from time to time, Russia will launch missiles to Ukraine. We will destroy some military objects in Russia, and God knows for how long time that will last. Because it's sad to say, but it looks like most of people in Russia are supporting this war. It's not just a war of one stupid guy. It's a war of it's a war that officially, unofficially, inside, deep inside mind of most of people in Russia. But it's my opinion. But I guess that they are supporting this war. They like that they are in war because that gives them a feeling of of something that gives them feeling that they mean something. Because imagine, I guess that maybe Victor knows Russia in proper way, but imagine a man who is living in building with no heating, no gas, no good roads around. Your toilet is outside your building. You don't have enough money to supply your family. You are collecting some vegetables, fishing, and stuff like that. And you know, your life, it's so miserable, um, so so basically it's not a lie. But and okay, well, it's a war. Oh, I my son goes to defend my country. I am brave for my son because that's something different. That's something that makes sense for their lives. Other people are thinking, oh, Russia is a big country, we are a great country, Ukraine is not a country at all. We remember when we were together, when Ukraine was part of Soviet Union, or right now they transferred it, it should be a part of Russia. So I guess that's the main reason why that war will last for very long time, and it's just a question for how long other countries will support Ukraine, but because Ukrainian people are ready, and I guess that many of Ukrainians really understand that this war will last for a long time. Oh, that's my opinion. Anyway, thank you for asking me and for giving me opportunity to express my feelings about this war.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for valuable insights and your valuable insights and perspectives. It's a very important. We will see a little bit later what is actually might be reality. Thank you.
Thank you.
Th- Thank you. And I hear it from many people, and you confirm that we are in a long process here, process which will take at least a generation, process the end of which the older generation will not see. Even more so, we need to analyze, as Anara said, different scenarios. And none of us are military experts or politicians, of course. We are just ordinary people. But as you said, we know a lot of this background. I spent half of my life back in the Soviet Union and half of my life now in the United States. So people like us know all perspectives. And of course, you are right that we need to remind people constantly because, as they say, news are tired of war. Ukraine is nowhere on the front pages of American news. We have our own things to uh, worry about. And we talked with you many times off record. Do you care to tell us whatever you can for the record, your ideas, or rather ideas of those who, like you, watch us from the other side? Can you count on Americans? We all know that Biden administration didn't give Ukraine completely or slowly. We know that there were delays in the Congress due political squabbles. We have elections in 2 months. That's nothing. That's tomorrow. So, what are Ukrainians thinking and fearing and hoping for?
Thank you. Thank you for putting my attention to that point. My opinion is very strong. I am pretty sure that without support from United States, we cannot stand for a long time. That's for sure, because I don't think I should argue this point, because it's just evident. And from I here inside Ukraine, unfortunately, not all people understand what kind of support United States and Europe and other countries, I mean, there are more than 50 countries, I would say Commonwealth, but I don't like that word, okay, that enormous support, that kind of support history has never faced. That's the first time in the human history when such enormous support comes to one country to defend country. And from the other point of view, unfortunately, it appears that in some critical moments of this war, support was stopped, and not even due to the problem in house starting last September and for half a year. Even before that time, I don't know for what was the reason, but there were several critical moments in the war when support was stopped. Just, it's enough to stop it for a couple of weeks, and situation will change on the front line. So I would say that here in Ukraine, everybody, I'm pretty sure that everybody understands that, and everybody appreciates support from United States, from Europe, from other countries. There is no doubt regarding that. And again, everybody is thinking that that kind of support is not enough. That's also very clear, because during battle, you don't have enough ammunition, enough weaponry, bullets, whatever. That's also very clear. But I guess, and I am pretty sure, that this the support from United States will come in any case, because here inside Ukraine, of course, people are discussing who will come to power, who will become president after elections, and things like that. Trump is good, Trump is bad. But I guess that we are not counting here for presidency. We are counting here for a great American nation. we are counting here for European nations. And because in the beginning of the war, our nation defended our country. We didn't have enough ammunition. We didn't have enough other kind of things, but just ordinary people defended our country. There are a lot of examples when just some people kicked off Russians from Sumy, from Kharkiv, and there are other examples. So we are not counting for politicians. We are counting for people. We are counting for nations, and I am pretty sure that in democratic state it doesn't matter. Of course, it does. But in that sense, it's not so important who is president. If it's democracy, if nation is supporting our way for our independence to defend our country, then everything will be okay, and Ukraine is going to face a bright future. So I guess, I mean, maybe I didn't tell you perfectly, but I guess I expressed my feelings and feelings of all of everybody who I know here in Ukraine, almost all people in Ukraine.
Thank you, Petro. And this is very well said. And maybe it helps that people like you and like me are not experts and definitely are not political scientists, because we are used to describe much more specific and clear scenarios, reactions, and structures. So we are looking for both functions, explanations, and things which we can understand, which is what probably should be done. And I'm sure you're a great teacher, as is evidenced by your career and your students. It's so important to explain to people what we think, and then, as the old saying goes, tell them what you told them once again. Thank you. Katerina, please.
Oh, I just wanted to pick up, Victor, on what you were saying. I love that you said we're not counting on the presidency, we're counting on the great American nation. That is so important in so many ways to us as we go through this election process. There is something, you have the support of the American people, and I love the optimism that that will result in action. I believe it will too. I believe it will too. There's, I think anyone who's carefully considered this terrible war very quickly realizes that it is in America's best interest to stand with Ukraine. But I love how you said that, because in our own country right now, this is a tense time. This is the last three elections have been very unnaturally tense for America. Usually there is competitive, and of course there's different political views, but the last three elections have been very heated. And so for what you said about like counting on the great American nation, that is very healing and restoring to us. So thank you for saying that. Thank you for seeing us that way. Thank you for reminding us of who we are as Americans. Thank you so much. And thank you for another great presentation here.
Thank you. Thank you for your nice words. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shrey. Do we have any more comments or questions, please? We are nearing the end of the hour, and it's late in Kiev, and we are again honored and glad that you had connection and you could spend this hour with us. Any more words, please, for record? Again, I hope to see you again on this panel in some time, and we all know that it's a long process, but we all hope that events happen. Events happen all the time. I didn't even ask you about Kursk, about how people feel about this very strange and bold development, which reminds us something from, I don't know, Jeanne d'Arc time, Middle Ages, places when borders didn't matter and melted. And one thing that maybe some of our viewers didn't watch, which I watch all the time, was reaction of a Russian population in Kursk area, those who were completely abandoned by their government and very uneasy about what will happen in future. And this looks like something from anti-utopian film or a parody film, if it weren't so tragic for everyone. So what do you think about this move? What is the feeling?
Well, okay, again, it's well, okay. It's my personal opinion. I guess I'm not guessing. I'm pretty sure that is a brilliant operation, because if we take a look what happened. I'm not saying about what's going on during that operation, what's happening during that operation. I mean just consequences. Consequence number one: military target. Russians decided to take part of their troops from south front line to Kursk. And today I learned that something like 30,000 troops were transferred from some parts of south front line to Kursk region. Second, that showed that Russia cannot defend their state. Third, Russia has, how to say it, a nuclear strategy, according to which, if I say it maybe in short way, maybe it's not correct, but if any foreign soldier steps on the Russian land, then we should launch nuclear missiles. That didn't happen. Then it showed to our Western partners that definitely there is that we can use their weapon on the Russian land. Then we explained that, okay, remember, one of our targets, our dreams, if we win, it should be demilitarized zone in Russia for 30 or 50 kilometers, for example. So we showed that, okay, if we cannot use your weapons, we will occupy that part of land, so Russians will not be able to launch the short-range missiles or artillery to our infrastructure to Ukraine. So I just counted for I just mentioned several consequences of that operation. So, and in my opinion, it because I mean that if you think about this situation, this operation seriously and deeply and analyze it, then you will understand that in any situation, Ukraine wins, Russia lost during this operation. There is no way that it doesn't matter what Russia performs; they always will be losers in this situation. So, in that sense, that operation is brilliant. That's what I mean. But I agree with another point, that it is not clear what will be next. That's a big question mark. So we'll see.
Thank you. Thank you very much again. It is 1 month today since the first attack across the border on Kursk. It's exactly 1 month today, 6th of August. It started on 6th of August, and we see very strange developments. We do not have analogs the more and more it goes on, I think all of us can say that this war has no analogs in history, even in First, much less Second World Wars. So we are up, everyone in the world is up for something unknown and for a long perspective. I guess this is safe to say without knowing what will be happening tomorrow. But our support, American support, as you said, should be unflinching. Whatever politics it is, it should be, as always, position of strength. Well, as always, it should be. Not always it is or was. Thank you, Dr. Strizhak. And I will ask Dr. Katerina Shrey to say our farewell greeting to the viewers in Ukraine.
Дорогі браття і сестри в Україні, ми зберігаємо вас у наших щоденних думках і молитвах. Нехай милосердний Бог тримає вас у своїй опіці. До наступного тижня. Прощаємося.
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава.
Героям слава.